On May 18, 1985, Ridgemont High School held its senior prom. At exactly 11:47 p.m., Prom King Derek Matthews walked into the parking lot to get something from his car. He never came back. His date waited for 3 hours. His best friend searched everywhere, but Derek had completely vanished, along with his brand new Camaro. 30 years later, a construction crew found something buried beneath the old school parking lot that would crack this case wide open and reveal the darkest secret Ridgemont High had ever kept. This is the story of the most popular guy in school, ... and the night that changed everything. Spring 1985, Ridgemont, California. If you went to Ridgemont High School in the mid-80s, you knew Derek Matthews. Everyone did. He was the guy captain of the football team, straight, a student, president of student council, dating the head cheerleader. He had a killer smile, a Letterman jacket covered in patches, and a cherry red 1985 Camaro IROCZ that he bought with money from his summer job at his dad's construction company. He was the kind of guy who seemed destined for greatness. USC was already scouting him. He had scholarship offers from 5 different schools. His whole life was mapped out. College football, maybe go pro. Come back to Ridgemont as a hero. But Derek had a secret. His girlfriend, Amber Hartley, didn't know about it. His best friend, Tommy Rodriguez, didn't know about it. His parents definitely didn't know about it. Only one person knew Derek's secret. And on prom night, that secret was about to explode. The spring of '85 was all about preparation for prom. It was the biggest night of the year, bigger than homecoming, bigger than graduation. This was the night that defined your entire high school experience. Derek was a shoo-in for Prom King. Everyone knew it. The vote was basically a formality. But in the weeks leading up to prom, people noticed Derek was acting ... different. He seemed distracted, Tommy later told police. Like his mind was somewhere else. He'd zone out during practice, miss easy catches. He kept checking his locker between classes, like he was expecting something. Amber noticed too. He kept saying we needed to talk after prom, that he had something important to tell me. I thought he was going to propose. She laughed bitterly. God, I was so stupid. On May 17th, the day before prom, Derek's chemistry teacher, Mr. Peterson, found him after school sitting alone in the parking lot, staring at nothing. You okay, Derek? Derek looked up, and Mr. Peterson later said his eyes looked haunted. Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life? Like you're playing a role and everyone expects you to be perfect, but you're not? You're just ... pretending? That's called being a teenager, Mr. Peterson said with a smile. Yeah. Derek stood up, grabbed his backpack. Maybe that's all it is. That was the last normal conversation anyone had with Derek Matthews. May 18, 1985, 7 p.m., Ridgemont High's gymnasium was transformed. Streamers in the school colors blue and gold. A disco ball that had been used since 1975. A banner reading Midnight MAGIC Prom 85 in glittery letters. The DJ was already playing when Derek walked in with Amber on his arm. She wore a pink dress with huge puffy sleeves, peak 80s fashion. Derek wore a powder blue tuxedo with a black bow tie, his hair perfectly feathered. They looked like they'd stepped out of a John Hughes movie. The night started perfectly. Derek and Amber won Prom King and Queen, obviously. They danced to Careless Whisper while everyone circled around them, clapping. Derek smiled for all the photos, his crown slightly crooked on his head. But Tommy noticed something was off. He kept looking at the door, Tommy told investigators. Every few minutes, he'd glance over like he was expecting someone. And he kept his jacket on all night, even though it was hot as hell in that gym. At 11:15 p.m., someone tapped Derek on the shoulder. It was Jamie Sullivan. Jamie was ... nobody. A loner. A loner. A loner. Drama club kid. Wore all black, listened to The Cure, kept to himself. The kind of person who moved through Ridgemont High like a ghost there, but not really there. Nobody knew why Jamie and Derek would have anything to talk about. They ran in completely different circles. But witnesses said Derek's face went white when he saw Jamie. They talked for maybe 2 minutes in the corner. Amber couldn't hear what they were saying over the music, but she saw Derek nod, check his watch, and then Jamie disappeared back into the crowd. At 11:47 p.m., Derek kissed Amber on the cheek. "I need to grab something from my car. I'll be right back." "Want me to come with you?" "No, stay here. Dance with the girls. I'll be back in 5 minutes. He never came back. At midnight, Amber started to worry. At 12:30 a.m., she sent Tommy to look for him. At 1 a.m., they checked the parking lot. Derek's Camaro was gone. His crown was on the ground next to the empty parking space. That was it. No note. No explanation. Just ... gone. Tommy and Amber drove around Ridgemont for hours, checking every spot they could think of. The burger joint, where everyone hung out. The beach, the overlook where couples went to make out. Derek's house. Nothing. At 4:30 a.m., Amber finally called Derek's parents. They filed a missing person report at dawn. The police investigation turned up ... nothing. Derek's Camaro had vanished. No sightings, no accidents reported. His bank account hadn't been touched. His college scholarship letters were still in his room. Everything he owned was still there, except Derek. The prevailing theory was that he'd run away. Cold feet about college, about his perfect life, about the pressure. Maybe he'd driven to Mexico or up the coast to start over. But that didn't explain why he left without clothes, without money, without saying goodbye to anyone. And it didn't explain Jamie Sullivan. When police questioned Jamie, he claimed Derek had just asked him about a homework assignment. That was it. Nothing weird. Jamie seemed genuinely confused about why anyone would think otherwise. "Derek Matthews didn't even know my name," Jamie said. "We weren't friends. We'd never hung out. I don't know why he'd talk to me at prom." But multiple witnesses saw them together. Saw Derek's reaction. Saw the urgency in their conversation. Jamie was lying. Everyone knew it. But without evidence, there was nothing the police could do. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Derek Matthews became a legend at Ridgemont High, the prom king who vanished into thin air. Amber graduated without him. Tommy went to San Diego State alone, without his best friend. And life moved on. But the mystery never died. August 2015, 30 years later. Ridgemont High School was being demolished to make way for a new shopping center. The wrecking ball had already taken down most of the building. Now, they were jackhammering the parking lot, digging up the asphalt to prepare for new construction. On August 14, 2015, at 2:30 p.m., a construction worker's excavator hit something solid about 8 feet down. Metal. The crew dug carefully around it, thinking it might be an old pipe or septic tank. It wasn't. It was a 1985 Camaro IRO Sazy, cherry red, buried under 30 years of concrete and dirt. Inside was a skeleton in a powder blue tuxedo. Derek Matthews had never left the parking lot. The police investigation that followed uncovered the truth, a truth that had been buried for 3 decades. Derek hadn't run away. He'd been murdered. Single gunshot wound to the chest, fired from close range. He'd been killed next to his car, then buried in a shallow grave. The following Monday, a construction crew had poured new concrete over the parking lot as part of a scheduled repaving project, sealing Derek's grave forever. But who killed him? The answer was in Derek's jacket pocket. A letter, preserved perfectly in a sealed plastic bag. It was addressed to Derek's parents. "Mom and Dad, by the time you read this, you'll know the truth. I'm gay. I'd known since I was 13, but I couldn't tell anyone. Not you, not my friends, not Amber, because I knew what would happen. I knew how people would look at me, how they'd treat me. I've been pretending to be someone I'm not for so long that I don't even know who I really am anymore. Jamie is the only person who knows. We've been meeting in secret for 6 months. We're in love. Real love, not the performance I've been putting on with Amber. Tonight, after prom, we were going to run away together. Start over somewhere we could be ourselves. I know you'll be disappointed. I know this isn't the son you thought you had. But I can't keep living a lie. I'd rather disappoint you than hate myself forever. I'm sorry. I love you, Derek. The letter was never sent because Derek never got the chance. DNA evidence found at the scene, combined with a deathbed confession years later, revealed the killer, Marcus Hayes, Amber's older brother. Marcus had seen Derek and Jamie together a week before prom. He'd followed them, discovered their relationship, and confronted Derek in the parking lot that night. In Marcus's twisted logic, Derek had dishonored his sister, made her look like a fool in front of the whole school. Marcus saw himself as protecting his family's reputation. He shot Derek, buried him with help from 2 friends, and kept the secret for 30 years. Marcus died of cancer in 2013, 2 years before Derek's body was found. But one of his accomplices, guilt-ridden and dying himself, confessed everything to police in 2016. Derek Matthews was finally laid to rest in September 2015, 51 years old, but forever 18. Amber Hartley, now Amber Chun, married with 3 kids, attended the funeral. She read a statement through tears. I love Derek, but I loved an idea of Derek, not the real person. He never got the chance to be himself. He died protecting a secret that shouldn't have been a secret. He died because we lived in a time and a place where being different meant being in danger. I'm so sorry, Derek. You deserve better. You deserve to live. Tommy Rodriguez, now a high school counselor, started a LGBTQ support program at his school in Derek's name. Jamie Sullivan, who had spent 30 years thinking Derek had abandoned him, finally got closure. He'd lived his whole life believing Derek got cold feet and ran away, leaving Jamie behind. Learning the truth was devastating, but also freeing. I thought he didn't love me enough to go through with it, Jamie said in a 2016 interview. I thought I wasn't worth fighting for. For 30 years I carried that. But now I know. He died trying to be with me. He died trying to be himself. That's not nothing. The city of Ridgemont installed a memorial at the site where Derek's body was found. A simple plaque, Derek James Matthews 196-71985. Be yourself. The world will adjust. Every year, on May 18th, the anniversary of prom night, LGBTQ youth groups hold a vigil at the memorial. They share stories, light candles, dance to 80s music. Because Derek never got to.